Hey y'all, welcome to Veggie Farming. I'm Stacy. I finally have all of my starts planted out for fall, and now we are on the brink of our first freeze. It's going to get down to 30 degrees, but that's just going to be enough to basically destroy my tender plants. We'll be right back up to 80 later this week, but I want to show you around, show you what everything looks like before that first freeze. I have everything planted out except for my onions, and I will put those away and get those out later on. But I'm in the garden house, and so this is how everything is looking right now. It's doing pretty well. Take you in for a closer look. All right, starting right here in this corner, I planted some marigolds. There is some lemon thyme in here. It's in the dark in there, but lacinato kale, or it's called black kale, the kind I planted, but I think it's just a type of lacinato kale. And the red Russian kale. I have a Sapporo giant cabbage back there. A couple of broccoli plants. Collards. Curly kale. I think there's a Romanesco back there, more collards. This is a turnip in here. This is Yad Fa. It's a Chinese broccoli that grows little stems, and you eat the little florets, and you eat the stems as well. And then these are just more of the same, just kind of planted closely and interplanted together. So everything's doing pretty well in here in the garden house. When I first planted these out, I had to keep the shade cloth up because we were definitely at 80 every day. So 80 and above when I first planted these out. This is, I think it's called a violacea cabbage. And then right in here, this is a type of kohlrabi. I think it's called blower. Have some pink celery in here also. And then more marigolds. I don't think those will make it through the freeze. I can see that this kohlrabi is kind of starting to bulb up. You can see that in there. So it's looking good in the garden house. Like I said, I'm going to put these onions away. I'm going to put them in the garage for the freeze. And it's just one night. So after that, I'm going to plant these out next week. And I have a spot sectioned off for that, and I'll show you where that is. I had an extra start right here, Sapporo giant cabbage, and so I just put it in this pot here. I also have lettuce starts right here that I'm hardening off, so I just had them kind of in a shaded area down here. We'll start over here. Starting over here, I moved a couple of things around, and so one of the things I moved was one of my green stalks, and I put it right here where it could get more full sun. And so this is here, all planted out. I have an insect netting on it, so I don't know how well you can see everything in here. But it's doing pretty well. I planted onions at the bottom. I think they're getting shaded out, so I might have to replace that. I have some carrots that just germinated in this front cage. I don't know if you can see the tiny little sprouts kind of in the sun. And then here I have beets here, and I have a full bed of beets here. And these beets I planted originally, and then when I thinned them out, I took all the ones I thinned out and placed them over here in this bed. I didn't think they were gonna make it. They were really limp, but they've really grown in. I don't know how many beets I'm gonna get. It's pretty close together, but the beet greens are looking really good. And I can juice those. And these are my Chinese cabbages and my mustard greens. More flowers. So let's get in here and take a look. So these are all my Asian greens in here. This Easy Cube is my favorite planter. I have not had to do anything with this. Put it in here, cover it up, not worry about water. It just takes care of itself. I'll have a link to this Easy Cube in my description. If you want to invest in a new bed, I suggest you give it a try. And right here, I have, I think these are, what are these? Morris Heading. Both of those are Morris Heading collards. These two plants that are planted in ground are my climbing roses. That's Peggy Martin. So I really hope to get this. I hope this is really filled out in the spring, because over the summer, this is my first year with this. I planted it. I actually bought these last fall. I kept them all through the winter. I planted them out in the spring and they didn't bloom this year, but I'm hoping that they will bloom next spring because they have grown a lot. Yep. Peggy Martin Climbing Rose. And then right back here, I don't know how well you all can see this. I have these with insect netting on them, but there is a full bed in there of broccoli and cauliflower. Then right over here, I have the hydrangea plant. I finally found a decently shaded spot for it. And I'm gonna get this one potted up over the winter. It's still actually in its nursery pot. I just have it in a planter. I'm gonna pot it up into that planter. I thought about putting it in the ground, so we'll see. This is ginger that has fallen over. And I have 2 pots of ginger. I don't know if either of those will make it through the freeze. And then of course this wild patch right here is stinging nettle, and it's looking good, so I'm probably going to harvest some of that today. This is one of my jujube trees. All the leaves have fallen off of that one. Thinking about relocating these. And then these are mini morning glory plants. And that up top is a vinca. Some struggling lavender over here in this pot. And then right in here I have marigolds and calendula. And this mullein has really taken off. It was shaded most of the summer and now it's really taken off. This is the blue sage. Pollinators love this. And back here is my rosemary. Half of it's died off and I still have some of it that's alive, so I'm gonna try to harvest some of that before it's all gone. I don't know why it's dying back. And my palm is doing good. That's one of the ones I think I'm gonna lose. I hate to see it go. And then lemongrass. I have harvested so much lemongrass that I think I've had enough. I'm definitely going to plant less of that next year. And I just have some petunias and my banana plant. Go over here and take a look at this bed. These are my cannas and some grasses next to it. Muley grass. I don't know if the cannas are going to make it through the freeze either. Let me show you these. This is my cardoon plants. Let me step out of the way. So this is one of them. And then I have the other here at the entryway. And I just don't know how well they will handle the freeze, but I know they can't handle the sun. They really wilt back during the day. So we will see. I'm not covering it. If it doesn't make it, I'll try it again in the spring. And these are a couple of cabbage plants that I have covered. And this one I left out in the open. It's called Sahara kale. And it's supposed to be a kale that's really heat tolerant. It really looks just like a collard. But I just left it open. It's kind of like a trap crop. You can see all the holes in it. White butterfly activity. I have another one here. And then covered here, I think this was a purple cauliflower. And then I have another cover here. This is the area I'm going to use for my onions. So I'm using almost a whole half of this bed. It's going to be nothing but onions. So I'll plant that next week. My first time trying to plant onions in the fall. So I'm going to try that and I'll cover it up if I need to. This is just some ornamental kale. I actually grew this from seed. I wanted to give it a try. Petunias, marigolds, and also in there some fennel. This is the fennel I'm trying out. All right, back in there. I've cut back the elderberry tree so I can get underneath it. Right over there beside it is a burdock plant. And that's my mint bed back there. These are the alocasia plants in here with some petunias under there. Right here are my Mexican sunflower plants. Let's see. They actually are starting to put on a couple of flowers. Even last year they didn't flower until fall. How it's looking. Let me open up this green stalk and show you how it's looking. Just unzipped. You can see I have these stakes in here also. Bring you in a little closer. You can see everything is looking pretty good in there. I transplanted some strawberries up here in the top two. And I took them out of the Easy Cube. Don't see too many holes. This is a cabbage. So this cover seems to be working pretty well. I'm going to keep it on here and try to protect it a bit from the freeze. But you can see a little bit how, well, I will take it off. No, because I have everything kind of rigged up here. It's hard to do a garden tour when you have everything all rigged up for protection, but this is what it looks like. And this is a really big bag to really let it have room to grow. Here's another mullein plant, and that's another jujube tree. Leaves dropping off, all of my peaches, nectarines. So turning yellow, signs of fall here. Right here is Romanesco. This one is a Waltham broccoli. And these last two over here are just Brussels sprouts. And then I planted extra mullein starts that I had over there. I'm surprised the figs still have leaves on them. They normally drop by now. I only had one fig this year, and that was on this Olympian fig, and it never fully ripened. So I guess I'm giving the figs one more year. We'll see. And this is the Texas rock rose. Right around here. Another palm. And my banana. Right down there, some echinacea I transplanted out of the garden house. And then take a look at these moringa trees. What I really want to get down before the freeze. I see a lot of the leaves are starting to turn yellow. That one. And then that one. See, the wind is really blowing in. So thanks for watching this video. If you made it to the end, thank you, thank you, thank you for continuing to watch. And I don't think I say that enough. Thank you all for those who keep tuning in with my sporadic uploading, and you still come back and watch and comment. And I really appreciate that because I love sharing with you all. And I'll continue sharing throughout the season, especially around the holidays when I start harvesting. And then soon, before you know it, it'll be time to start planning for spring and planting. So I'll show you what I'm going to be planting and when I get my seeds started. So yeah, happy growing. Thanks for watching.